Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm featuring the Firefly Friends by My Favorite Things, an adorable stamp set, and I am going to do some coloring with my Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. Now, about these pencils. So I bought them because I just love how people can color with pencils, and I'm really fortunate. I think that normally sort of all the mediums that I try to color with work out as far as you can let it work out as a starter with a medium. Now I tried these pencils before and it worked, but I had no patience, and for some reason I decided on this card to try it again. Now after doing this card I know for sure that this is not my medium. Now, you don't always need to color completely your images with pencils. You can also use these pencils to help you when you're coloring with other mediums to get some depth in there, so I will not throw these away. But cards like this, coloring with pencils, will be really limited on my YouTube channel. So if you're looking for some amazing videos that can help you with getting used to pencils and how to color with them, it's not on this channel. But I'm glad with the end result, of course, of this card. But I have patience when it comes to card making, but this really stretches the amount of patience. So I started first with just a coat of the lightest color, and then I added more. Now, normally color pencils are all about layering. In my case, it's all about getting annoyed and losing my patience and starting to press harder with the pencil from the start. So you will see that on some occasions I really went from light onto layering and adding more color. In other occasions I just went for it with the color immediately. So this, I'm just showing you how this result was achieved, but it's not the way. Okay, so just so you know. But I am here on this YouTube channel to show you my experiences with several mediums, with several stamp sets, and so I'm showing you everything. Also, I think there are some incredible inspiration cards with this adorable stamp set. Some of the design team members by My Favorite Things did some crazy stuff, and also other people that I follow on Instagram. I think it's amazing to also do this with a darker background and then have more of these fireflies. I think I saw it at someone's Instagram, but I don't know anymore. But I definitely am going to try out this image using my Copic markers. I just don't know when the time will be liberated for that and when I will be able to do that. But today I'm just making a clean and simple card using these color pencils, and that was hard enough. I'm really sorry for the hairs here. I think that they will appear even more. But what? So here I actually started quite softly, and then I kind of got annoyed and just started coloring heavier here already, knowing sort of where the shadow was going to be, and then really pressing hard on the pencils. Also, something that I recommend when coloring with pencils, and these are polychromos, they are not aquarelle or anything, is to really sharpen your pencils. Best results when your pencils are sharp. So what I do, I have them sharpened all in the box, and then when I want to color with them, I can just take them out and get going without having to sharpen them. That's really handy. Also, I cannot show you here which colors I'm actually using each time, but I'm linking towards my blog post, so if you're curious, if you also have these pencils, on my blog post I listed them for the girl, for the boy, shoes, pants, etc. I just added everything there just for reference if you like these combinations. So I was wondering, are you someone who prefers coloring with pencils? And if so, where do you get the patience? Um, well, I think really like a lot of card makers, as far as I know at least, use pencils to add some details afterwards. So they first color with their medium like Copic markers, and then just for shadowing and some extra details they add pencils. And as I said in the beginning, I think that's the way that I will be using these pencils. I love the end result from this card, but it's too much. It asked too much from me. And well, you just never know how it's going to turn out, and I have a better feeling of the end result when I'm using my Copic markers. So I think that's also a reason. So for the girl, I decided to do a lighter skin tone than the boy. I love using different skin tones. I actually prefer the skin tone of the little boy here above the other, because, well, brown is just a lovely color and it's warm always. And, well, but I like some variety, and if I can, I try to incorporate different skins, because that's how the world is. There are so many skin tones. Recently, I also participated on anti-racism hub, and of course, if you think about racism, there is also the fact that there is a lot of racism with skin tones, and I also talked about that in my video there. And here I thought of the hub while I decided on coloring these these images, and well, just being aware of the hub at that moment really helped me with deciding on using 2 skin tones here, and I really like how it ended up. This is like we have, I'm now 24, so still at the beginning of my life, as some people say to me, and I was an animator as a student job for kids, and actually this is an image that you can see always with all the younger kids that aren't really aware of all the racism in the world and stuff, and I just love them. They are vulnerable, but they are open for all friendships, and they aren't busy with skin tones or the origin of the other toddlers or that are around them, and I just love that. So I'm coloring this in. Here I'm trying some blonde hairs. Well, I actually have no clue when I started coloring, because, well, as you know, I'm not used to these pencils, so knowing what kind of combination it will be turning out like, it was a bit insecure here. But I really like how it ended up. So maybe if I can find a jar with a lot of patience in it and I can drink it or anything like that, I will try to color a whole image with pencils once more. But I don't know. At this point, I don't even know why I started with the pencils. So, so that's what happened. But yeah, maybe you like pencils, and maybe you will also see that I just have no technique and that I lost my patience over here. I already went really hard from the start with the colors. It just went everywhere, the coloring. But aren't these two super cute together? Also, fireflies. I never saw one. I live in Belgium, and as far as I'm aware of, there aren't any fireflies here. Well, maybe in the woods, but I have never seen one. And when I see images of them, I'm always so jealous of people living in countries or in areas where you can see them like really often, because I think it adds something really cute to just the visual that you have outside. And, well, I don't know, but I don't think we have that here. So jealous about you if you have ever seen fireflies. And is this something that you do, catching fireflies, if you have that around? Because it seems really fun, and at the same time, well, they lost their freedom at that point. So, but I think it's cute. It's a cute image, and that's what it's all about. I love the designs from Rochelle Anna Miller, and I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, but she has the most lovely designs, and I love the fact that she is one of the illustrators now as well for my favorite things, because this way I have matching dies and I have clear stamps and everything is fine. So here onto the grass, I'm using the same colors as for the shirt of the boy. and I had no clue how to color this grass, and I went way too hard from the start, so that was a bit of fiddling to get it a bit like normal. Is that even an option? And I will be adjusting the coloring here once I have die cut the image and see how I'm going to place it, because I needed enough grass and I stopped quite quickly with the coloring, and then the image covered a whole part of the grass with then the white border around it from the dyes, and I just wanted that grass to peek from underneath the images as well, so I had to extend it a bit. And here I am really pressing with my pencil. It's actually crazy how hard I was coloring here, because I just started off way too harsh, and then it's really hard to get the other colors still on there. I think maybe if you have aquarelle pencils that you have more wiggle room, or you can use some water and move the color around, which seems like something really handy. So maybe I will try those out in the future, but I have none. Well, I have a few. I got some from a lovely person, from actually the illustrator from Streamside Studios. She sent me some to try out, and I love how they color. They are different from Polychromos. But yeah, I still need to figure it out. So here I tried those images out. Well, my purple tape took some of the brown off the face, so I fixed that. And then I decided to add those white details again. In the beginning I started with a really soft layer of that pink, but I lost my patience and I was not going around all of these dots. So I decided to color over them and then use my white jelly roll pen here to get those details back on there. I also use my black glaze pen for the eyes, as well as the firefly inside of the jar, because with the pencils you can really lose a bit of the black if you go over the lines, and I really wanted those eyes to pop out as well as that firefly. So I really carefully did that. And then I'm going to add some more grass on this panel because it just wasn't enough. And otherwise, if I wanted to see the grass still, then the images were floating in the air, and that's not logical. So I scribbled some, I mixed some, I added some more of the darker green, and that's how I ended up with this card actually. So here I was still contemplating. I thought, okay, I will add my thin foam squares from Scrapbook Adhesives on the back. This is how I am going to add a bit of dimension on this simple card. But then I just decided to add a bit more of the greens for the grass because it just wasn't enough. So I'm just doing something. I cannot explain it. I just scribbled things on there until I was happy. And then of course I didn't want to have all the light greens on the bottom, so I just scribbled some of the darker green as well. A bit random, but it works. But there is no logic. Just wanted to point it out. So I'm just making sure that I like the color scheme there, and then I'm going to add these cuties. And then I was actually also contemplating to add some glossy accents to the jar. Now, at this point, I was not going to start over, and I had no clue whether the pencils would react on the glossy accents. So I left it off. I could have tested it out, but I didn't. So still haven't tried it out. So if you have experience with it, polychromos and glossy accents, you can always leave it in the comments. That would help me. Otherwise I probably never know, because I don't want to mess things up when I finally color something with pencils. So this is my panel. I'm not going to add anything more, but I think it would also be gorgeous to add a really dark background in the sky and then some stars or other fireflies. But I was just scared that I was going to mess up, so I decided to stop here and then take this adorable pattern paper to put behind the panel. Now the panel that I have with that gorgeous detailing is from the Blueprints 27, and this is the Poppin Polka paper pad. And I just added that to my card base first, and then I'm adding with a bit of Scotch foam squares, with a bit of Scotch 3M foam tape, I'm adding this panel. And that's my card. I think it's really precious, but that's all because of the stamp set that I used. But yeah, an experience with pencils again. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that this might have been helpful. If you have any questions, you can always leave them down below in the description box. I hope that you have an amazing day left, and I will be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!